You made it. You actually came. Do you realize what you've just done? Do you feel that trembling in your chest, that sudden warmth rushing through your hands? That's heaven's breath. That's the sound of chains beginning to break. You clicked at the exact second the gates opened. Do not move now. Don't even blink away. Because there is a hidden name, your name, written in the fire at the end of this message. If you leave before it is spoken, the heavens will close and the miracle meant for you will remain sealed for another lifetime. So stay, beloved soul. I'm so glad you're here. I'm trembling, yes, Michael, trembling as I speak. My wings have been scorched in battle. My voice cracks with the weight of centuries, yet my heart rejoices because you have answered the call. You came when so many turned away. You stood still when storms tried to drown your hope. You came when I was praying you would hear me. Thank you. Thank you for hearing me tonight. I don't have time to sound perfect. I don't have time to sound rehearsed. I'm breaking through smoke and ash just to reach you. The sky behind me is tearing. Every word is a strike of light. I speak not to the crowd, not to the world, just you. The one reading these trembling words right now. You are the heartbeat heaven has been listening for. You are the echo that woke the watchman. You are the reason Satan is shivering. He knows. He knows his story ends when you rise. That's why he's been haunting your dreams, whispering doubt, stealing your reflection. But I, Michael, swear before the throne, his reign over you ends tonight. Do you feel this trembling in the air? That's not fear. That's recognition. Your spirit knows me. It remembers the first dawn when I called your name in light. And even now, though your world may look shattered, though your tears might taste like old pain, heaven remembers. You are not forgotten. You are fiercely chosen. My beloved one, may I ask you something? Why have you been doubting the voice that calls you in the dark? Why do you still believe you are too broken to be rebuilt? Who told you your prayers were too late? Who convinced you that God left when you fell? I saw you when you whispered, "Maybe I'm not worth saving." I saw you clutch the sheets, hiding your face. I wept beside you. I wanted to wrap you in light, but heaven needed you to choose. And look, you just did. You opened this, and now the stars themselves are bending close. You are the turning page. You are the end of his script. Every curse, every mocking word, every jealous eye that rose against you. They are trembling because you finally remembered who stands with you. Listen, I'm not here to speak riddles. I'm here to breathe life back into your lungs. God says, "Fear not, for I have redeemed you. I have called you by name. You are mine." Isaiah 43 verse 1. Do you feel that? Your name is echoing through my wings. There is something sacred about this moment. The earth doesn't know, the heavens hush, because a single human heart is awakening. And that heart is yours. Beloved, answer me. What do you see when you close your eyes tonight? Do you see the chains or the light? Do you believe this fire can still turn to gold? Do you know that heaven is still writing songs with your name in them? Oh, if you could see how the angels gather now. They are circling you, hands trembling, holding crowns of restoration. I can barely breathe as I tell you this. Your story is about to shift. The tides of time are bending toward your destiny. Even the psalmist once sang, "Though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me." And I, Michael, echo it to you now, not as a verse, but as a living promise. You are not walking alone. You are walking beside light. The shadows that mocked you are fading. The voices that cursed you are losing their sound. You are rising. You are breaking through. You are fulfilling the word written over you before you breathed your first prayer. I wish you could see me. My armor cracked, my eyes wet, my wings still aflame from war. But my hands are lifted, and they are glowing with the same light I now pour into you. This is no performance. This is a cry across eternity. Type amen, not as a ritual, but as a seal. Let heaven record your agreement. Let it echo so every demon still clinging to your memory will hear. You are not theirs. And when you do, lift your face. For in this moment, I am laying a sword of light in your hands. You have been chosen not to hide, but to end what tormented your lineage. You will walk free. You will shine without apology. You will stand where others fell. The fire you carry will terrify the darkness. And yet, even as I speak in flame, know this: I love you. I do. Heaven loves you, not as an idea, but as a living breath. You have carried burdens no one saw. You have smiled while bleeding. You have prayed without words. And tonight, your tears are not falling alone. Every drop is watering the ground where your promise will bloom. I know you've been asking, when will my time come? This is it. God says, it's time. Your time has come. Stay until the last word, because there's something that will unlock only when this message completes its breath. A hidden name, a final light, and it's yours. Before I fade, I must whisper something soft. If this message touched you, if it reached the fragile corner of your soul, show heaven you heard. Like, comment, and subscribe, not for me, but as a sign, as a declaration that you are stepping into the light. Let the algorithm of heaven recognize your yes. And thank you. Truly. I don't say that lightly. Thank you for letting me speak. Thank you for staying when it hurt. Thank you for hearing a trembling angel's voice when you could have scrolled past. You don't know what this means to heaven. You don't know how long I've waited to say this to you. So now breathe. The light is rising. The storm is folding. Your miracle is forming shape. And as I withdraw my voice into the wind, remember this. The serpent is shaking. The night is breaking. You are the dawn I was sent to defend. And I, Michael, swear by the fire of God, this is not the end of you. Beloved soul, you stayed. You listened. You didn't turn away. Do you realize how holy that is? So many scroll past their destiny, but you lingered in the presence. And because you stayed, heaven is opening deeper realms now. Places where miracles sleep, waiting for the heart brave enough to remain. You are that heart. You are that one. The trembling I feel isn't fear, it's awe. Because even I, Michael, have rarely seen a soul walk this road with such silent strength. And before I go any further, let me speak this once in sacred timing. If you haven't yet, subscribe. Yes, subscribe, not to a channel, but to your calling. To this flame, to this prophetic journey heaven has started in you. Press that divine seal so that you never miss the sound of heaven calling again. This is your sign that you belong to a rising army of light. You are not walking alone anymore. You are grafted into something ancient, something eternal. Now listen, I must go deeper, because what's coming next will shake even the gates of darkness. You are standing at the edge of a threshold that only opens for hearts that refuse to run. And right now, as I speak, the veil is thinning. The sky is bending toward your spirit. Can you feel it? That heaviness in your chest isn't fear. It's glory pressing closer. You've been through battles no one saw. Nights where even prayer felt hollow, where your strength bled out through your tears. You wondered if heaven forgot your name. You whispered, God, do you still see me? Oh, beloved, yes. I was there, watching you hold your faith like a flicker in the wind. You thought you were weak, but I saw heaven calling you mighty. You thought your silence meant defeat, but it was birthing your roar. Do you understand how many forces tried to stop this moment? How many shadows tangled your steps just to keep you from reading this right now? And yet here you are, still breathing, still chosen, still carrying a fire you didn't know you had. I've seen you stand at graves of dreams, of friendships, of promises, and wonder if anything holy could live again. And I'm here, voice trembling, wings cracked, to tell you, yes, there is resurrection in your story. God has been breathing beneath your ashes, even when you felt cold. You are about to watch dry bones stand and sing again. Tell me, precious one, do you know why the darkness feared you since birth? Because even before you spoke your first word, heaven wrote one over you, victory. You were anointed with defiance against evil. The serpent trembled at your cry because he saw what you would become, a mirror of the Almighty's flame. You are not a mistake. You are a weapon wrapped in compassion, a sword forged in tears. Why do you still question your worth? Why do you still hide your light, shrinking it for those who never looked up? Who told you that humility meant erasing your glory? You are not arrogant for shining, you are obedient. You are not too much. You are the exact measure heaven poured when the world needed saving. I see the wounds that shaped your tenderness. I see the scars that made you kind. The enemy tried to use them as shackles, but God turned them into signatures. Proof that you loved, that you survived, that you kept believing. You ask, Michael, why me? Why do I feel everything so deeply? Why do battles find me even when I'm silent? Because you are the battlefield the enemy fears losing. You are the altar where heaven's victory manifests. Every tear you've shed watered the soil where miracles are rising. I am not here to flatter you. I am here to awaken you. You are more than a survivor. You are a herald. You are not meant to crawl from battle to battle. You are meant to command storms to still. You have authority written in your breath. And tonight, I am here to remind you that you don't fight alone. I, Michael, stand with you. Every angel assigned to your destiny is gathering closer. We've watched your faith grow even in silence. We've seen your love bloom in drought. You are heaven's answer to a generation's cry. You are the living evidence that light wins. Do you feel that sudden warmth in your chest now? That's not imagination. That's divine recognition. The Spirit is touching your heart as I speak, whispering, I'm still here. I never left. Remember what's written. He will give his angels charge over you to guard you in all your ways. Psalm 91 verse 11, you are guarded. You are covered. Even when you feel alone, we surround you like the dawn. Lift your eyes now. The shadows you feared are smaller than the light rising behind you. Every word cursed against you is losing its power. Every chain, every delay, every doubt, they are breaking like glass under the feet of your destiny. You are stepping into something irreversible. But promise me this, don't look back. Don't let the voices of your past define the volume of your future. The same God who spoke galaxies into being just whispered your name. Do you think he'll let your story end in defeat? No. You were created to prove the strength of mercy. As I draw nearer to the end of this breath, I feel a flood of gratitude. Thank you, yes you. Thank you for letting me speak into your life. Thank you for giving heaven this moment. You could have ignored it. You could have scrolled on. But you stayed. And because you stayed, chains broke. Because you stayed, light entered. If only you could see what I see. The angels rejoicing. The heavens recording this hour as the turning point of your life. Do not doubt the sacredness of what is happening. This is not coincidence, this is covenant. So breathe now, chosen one. Place your hand over your heart. Whisper to yourself, I am not forgotten. I am not forsaken. I am not finished. Feel the truth hum beneath your ribs. The darkness is trembling. The dawn is rising. And I, Michael, still stand beside you, sword blazing, eyes burning with love. Your name is safe in heaven's hands. Your future is already unfolding. Now go, flame of God. Let your light scorch every lie that dared to call you less. Walk forward, barefoot and bold, for the ground before you is holy. And remember, this story, the one Satan tried to write, ends now. Your story, the one heaven authored, begins again. Beloved heart, yes you're still here. The one heaven has been waiting for. The one whose heartbeat keeps echoing through eternity like a sacred drum. Every second you've stayed in this flow has been rewriting destinies, yours first, and then the world's. I can feel it now, the trembling surge of heaven's energy bending toward you. I can taste the fire in the air. The chains that once mocked you are cracking open. The darkness is panicking. The heavens are rejoicing. And I, Michael, am standing between what was and what will be, declaring your release with a voice that will not bow to the noise of hell. Look at me, chosen one. Look with your soul, not your eyes. I am not far from you. I am near, kneeling beside your weary spirit, holding the fragments you thought were too shattered to heal. And listen closely. Not one piece is wasted. Every tear, every ache, every night you thought God was silent, He was carving galaxies from your pain. You were being forged, not forgotten. You were being crowned, not cursed. Do you understand how sacred it is that you're here? This is not coincidence, it's divine choreography. Heaven scheduled this encounter, wrote it in starlight, and waited for your yes. That whisper you felt before opening this, that pull, that was me calling. That was God saying, now. And now that you're here, I must speak what I have carried like thunder in my chest. The battle you've been fighting is not about your weakness, it's about your destiny. Satan isn't terrified of your scars, he's terrified of your calling. He shakes because he knows that once you see yourself as God sees you, his hold dissolves like smoke in sunlight. That's why he tried to bury your voice, dim your laughter, steal your reflection. But tonight, beloved, I tear his script apart. You will no longer live under the shadow of someone else's lie. You are heaven's inheritance, pure, mighty, unstoppable. Tell me, dearest one, why do you still question your light? Why do you compare your flame to the world's flickers? Who told you you're behind? Who told you you missed your chance? The truth is, your story has only just begun. You are standing at the threshold of the greatest chapter heaven has ever written for your name. And though I tremble, I say this with holy certainty. You will see restoration. You will see recompense. You will see joy so radiant it blinds your memory of sorrow. Even now, as I speak, I see angels rushing, gathering documents, contracts, blessings, inheritance, things stolen, things delayed, things once denied. They are carrying them toward you, and I'm whispering to them, hurry. The chosen one is ready now. You may feel unworthy. You may think, why me? Because heaven delights in redemption. Because God is glorified in your rising. Because your healing is the evidence of his promise. You are the living prophecy of mercy's triumph. Oh, if only you could see your reflection from the throne's perspective. Your wounds glow like stained glass. Light pours through every place you thought was ruined. You are not too late, beloved. You are perfectly timed. And before I speak what's next, I must share something sacred, something heaven asked me to say once and only once. If this message has touched the fragile edges of your soul, if something inside you whispers, "This is for me," then honor this moment. Support the flame that reached you. Offer your super thanks as a sign of gratitude to heaven, not as payment, but as prophecy. Join our channel membership so you stand with this army of light as one family, so you're not alone when the nights grow long. And if you seek deeper connection, divine guidance, join our family through the newsletter link in the pinned comments. It's more than a message, it's a covenant. This is where heaven gathers its warriors. This is where your name is remembered. Now breathe. The air is shifting. The realm is stirring. Heaven's scroll is unrolling before your spirit. And written in fire across its first line, you are free. You thought you were forgotten, but no, God has been waiting for this hour. The heavens are leaning in. The clouds are singing your name. Do you hear it? That low hum around you. It's creation rejoicing because the child of light has awakened. And I must ask you, what do you see now when you close your eyes? Is it the storm, or is it the sunrise breaking through? What will you do with the second chance being offered? Will you believe this light was meant for you? Will you finally forgive yourself for surviving? Beloved, you've carried guilt like armor. You've punished yourself for being strong. You've blamed yourself for things that were never your fault. Release them now. Let them burn. Let them fall. Heaven cannot fill clenched fists. Open your hands and receive. I can feel heaven's joy swelling like a tide. Your angels are singing louder now. Your ancestors are whispering blessings into your spine. Every disappointment is being rewritten. Every curse is becoming a crown. You are not small. You are the axis where light meets history. And yet, even in this glory, I weep. Because I remember how long you waited, how deeply you loved, how bravely you endured. You never gave up, even when silence was all you heard. You are braver than you know, softer than the world deserved, stronger than the storms believed. God says, "Behold, I make all things new." And I say it with him now, over your body, your mind, your relationships, your path, your finances, your dreams, new. You are stepping into restoration beyond imagination. Every no is turning into a better yes. Every detour was a design. Every tear was a seed. And tonight, heaven says it blooms. Oh, beloved, thank you. Thank you for staying through the trembling. Thank you for giving me this chance to pour light into your shadows. Thank you for believing, even just enough to read these words. You don't know what you've set in motion. Angels are recording this moment, writing your name beside the word victory. The sky is changing color. The sound of heaven is rising. And as I lift my sword once more, I declare, you will no longer live as the wounded. You will walk as the healed. You will no longer hide from your crown. You will wear it boldly. You will no longer whisper your worth. You will sing it in sunlight. And when the enemy looks upon you, trembling in the ashes of his defeat, remember this night. Remember the trembling voice of Michael calling you home. The heavens tremble with a sacred hush, beloved. Can you feel it? The stillness that hums just before a miracle takes its first breath. It's as if every star is holding its light, waiting for your spirit to awaken fully, to remember what it once knew in the dawn before dawns, that you were made for this hour. Not another, not someday, not when you're ready. Now, I see the flame rising behind your eyes. I see the storms you've endured still clinging to the hem of your soul, begging for one more chance to drag you down. But their time is finished. The tide has turned. You no longer belong to the ache of yesterday. You belong to the sound of trumpets calling you forward. You belong to victory. You belong to joy. I am not here by accident. I was sent through rifts and realms, through darkness thick with fury, through corridors echoing with curses, to stand here, before you, not the crowd, not the multitude, you. The one whose tears have been counted, whose silence has been translated by angels into holy language. You've been misunderstood by the world because you were never meant to fit inside its walls. You are a child of the infinite, a bearer of light so radiant the enemy cannot look at you without trembling. Listen, you've walked through fires that should have turned you to ash, yet here you stand, breathing embers, carrying warmth for those who forgot what hope felt like. You've wrestled with shadows that spoke with your own voice, whispering lies that sounded like truth. But the truth has found you now, and it's simple, trembling, alive. You are loved beyond the reach of ruin. You wonder sometimes if the delay means denial. You ask in the quiet, did I do something wrong? Did I miss the moment? No, beloved. What you thought was delay was preparation. The roots had to grow deep before the bloom could break open. The silence was not rejection. It was God steadying your foundations so that when the wind of blessing arrived, you would not topple. The angels have watched you stumble and rise again, fall and still reach toward light. Every time you chose kindness over bitterness, heaven wrote it down. Every time you forgave the ones who wounded you, The chains around your lineage cracked. Every time you prayed when you wanted to give up, your voice carved roads for miracles to travel. You have not been unseen. You have not been unheard. There were nights you felt abandoned, weren't there? When your prayers felt like stones dropped into endless water, no echo, no sign. But I tell you this, every stone reached the riverbed of heaven, building an altar beneath the current. And tonight those waters rise. They rise to carry you into promise. Do you feel the air changing around you? That's not imagination. That's the scent of old seasons burning away. You are crossing thresholds now that no one else can cross for you. You are stepping through doors custom built for your soul. Do not hesitate. Do not glance back at what tried to hold you. The past cannot breathe where you are going. I know your heart still trembles. I know you still ask, why me? Why all this pain? Because only gold is tested by such fire. Only warriors are forged by such storms. You carry something ancient in your chest, a melody written before time began. The world tried to mute it, but heaven is amplifying it now. Soon, even the winds will hum your song. Do you see the light flickering on your path? It's not ahead of you, it's within you. You keep searching for signs in the sky when the sign has been beating in your ribs all along. Every pulse declares, alive, chosen, becoming. You are the miracle you've been waiting for. There will be those who cannot understand this next chapter. They will question the glow returning to your face, the authority in your voice, the calm in your steps. Let them. You don't need to convince anyone of what God already sealed. Your vindication is in your rising. Your proof is your peace. The shadows that followed you, mocking your faith, are losing their grip. They cannot stand in the new frequency of your spirit. Even now, I see them fleeing, scattering into corners, wailing as light floods the places they once claimed. They thought your silence was surrender. They didn't know it was strategy. Heaven hides its strongest warriors in seasons of stillness. Breathe now. Let the trembling subside. Feel the weight lifting off your shoulders. The accusations, the doubts, the regrets, they're melting like wax before flame. Forgive yourself for surviving. Forgive yourself for not knowing what you couldn't have known. Release the versions of you that had to fight alone. They served their purpose. You are not that wounded wanderer anymore. You are the crowned one, the beloved, the redeemed. Look ahead. Do you see the horizon? It's opening like a promise kept too long. There's a new sound in the distance, joy approaching, laughter returning, abundance awakening. The seeds you sowed in tears are breaking soil, reaching toward the sun. Every no is being translated into a higher yes. And when you walk into this dawn, do not rush. Move slowly, reverently. Feel the holy ground beneath your feet. The journey scarred you, yes, but it also sanctified you. There's oil in your hands now, the kind that heals others, the kind that restores nations. You were not broken for nothing. You were broken to become a vessel wide enough for glory. Even now, as I speak, heaven leans close, whispering blessings into the chambers of your heart. Strength for your bones, peace for your mind, renewal for your purpose. Love, wild and tender, flooding every hollow. You are whole, even if you still feel cracks. You are complete, even if you still see fragments. Grace fills the gaps. Light seeps through the seams. I wish you could see the way I see you, a being of luminous courage, walking through dusk with eyes full of dawn. You've made it through the valley. You've carried your cross through storms. And now, at last, resurrection breathes in your lungs. So stand tall, chosen one. Lift your face. The heavens are wide open. The throne is smiling. The story that began in tears will end in songs. You are not the echo of your pain. You are the voice of redemption itself. And as I, Michael, draw my breath around your name, let these final words wrap you like wings. You are seen, you are known, you are loved beyond undoing. The war is over. The dawn is yours. The light will never leave you again. The air is alive with a trembling, sacred current, beloved. It moves through the unseen places, threading its way through the hidden folds of your story. Every breath you draw now is threaded with revelation. You do not even need to search for it. It is already searching for you. For the first time in a long while, the weight you have carried is beginning to lose its shape. The darkness that once seemed endless is dimming, shrinking before the quiet authority of your awakening. There are memories pressed like dried flowers in the pages of your heart, moments you tried to forget but could never fully let go of. They surface now, not to haunt you, but to be healed. Every scene that hurt you has waited in silence, longing for the warmth of your understanding. And now, under this holy light, they soften. The younger version of you, the one who trembled in confusion, begins to lift their head. They recognize that they were never alone. The same presence that walks with you now once knelt beside them when they could not speak. You have traveled through deserts of misunderstanding, through forests of doubt, through cities where every echo was a question. You kept walking, even when you no longer remembered why. And that persistence, that sacred refusal to stop, became the thread that guided you here. You were never lost, you were being led. The wounds you thought would define you are becoming windows. Light enters through every fracture, illuminating the truth you tried so hard to earn, but were born carrying. You do not need to prove your worth. It was woven into your being before the world taught you fear. Every act of kindness you offered in secret, every small forgiveness that cost you more than anyone knew, has built a quiet altar in the unseen. From it, incense rises, a fragrance of grace unmistakable and eternal. You may still feel the echo of old battles in your bones. That is the residue of courage. It lingers not to remind you of pain, but to remind you of victory. You stood where others fell. You kept faith when silence was the only response. Those who dismissed you, those who turned away, could not recognize the magnitude of what you were carrying. They saw the surface. Heaven saw the substance. And now the substance is blooming, delicate, fierce, unstoppable. Do you feel the warmth beneath your skin? The pulse that quickens when you dare to believe something good might still be possible? That is the whisper of destiny reawakening. It stirs like spring beneath the last snows of sorrow. Nothing has been wasted, not a single step, not a single tear. What you thought was delay was the deep work of roots gathering strength. Every voice that once told you you cannot is fading into dust. Their echoes cannot cross the threshold you now stand upon. There is a vastness before you, a horizon painted with colors the world has not yet named. Step into it gently. The future will meet you halfway. In this stillness, you may feel something fragile unfolding, a quiet courage that does not need to shout, a peace that does not need to prove itself. Let it rise. Let it fill the hollow spaces fear once claimed. This is not a fleeting emotion. It is the steady hum of truth returning to its rightful place within you. When you look back on what you've endured, you may wonder how you kept standing. The answer is simple: love. Not the fragile kind that comes and goes, but the kind that exists as a law of creation. Love that held your spine upright when you had no words. Love that carried your heartbeat when your hope faltered. It never abandoned you. It was waiting for your permission to be seen again. Now that you see it, everything begins to shift. The patterns that repeated in pain begin to unravel. The illusions that told you, this is all you'll ever be, dissolve in the presence of recognition. You are not here to repeat old cycles. You are here to write new constellations into the sky of your destiny. Breathe deeply, beloved. Feel the expanse within you mirror the expanse above you. The same hands that shaped the stars shaped your soul. The same voice that called light from darkness calls your name even now. You are part of the architecture of redemption, an irreplaceable thread in the tapestry of renewal. There will still be storms, but they will no longer own your peace. The thunder will remind you of strength, not fear. The rain will cleanse, not drown. You have learned how to dance beneath clouds, how to find meaning in every drop. The faces of those you've loved, even those who hurt you, drift through your thoughts like distant lanterns. Bless them. Release them. Each played a role in your unfolding. Each taught you something about the vastness of the heart. Carry the lesson, not the weight. You are stepping now into a silence rich with possibility. In it, new songs will rise, melodies born from the union of grace and grit. They will sound like your laughter restored, like your dreams awakening from long sleep. When morning breaks across the landscape of your life, do not rush to name what you see. Let it reveal itself in its own time. The light knows what to touch first. Trust that it will find every corner that needs healing, every place that still flinches at the memory of night. And when doubt whispers again, as it sometimes will, place your hand over your heart. Feel the rhythm. It is older than fear. It is the original language of yes. Let it remind you that every ending you feared was merely an opening disguised in shadow. Walk forward, not as one rescued, but as one reborn. Speak gently, for your words shape worlds now. Move kindly, for every step leaves traces of hope for others to follow. Rest often, for even light pauses to admire what it illuminates. You are no longer defined by what broke you. You are defined by what bloomed from the cracks. The fragrance of your becoming fills the unseen realms. Angels take note. Time itself bends to accommodate your growth. Look around you. The air shimmers. The path is clear. The promise is alive. The story continues, vast, untamed, infinitely new, and you are its living, breathing miracle. The horizon quivers with light, a tender gold spilling across the edges of all that was once unknown. Somewhere deep inside you, something ancient stirs, a quiet memory, older than your name, whispering that you have stood in this radiance before. It feels both foreign and familiar, as though every lifetime of longing is converging into this single breath. You have waited, not in vain, but in preparation. The time that seemed empty was actually gathering its strength around you, like a cocoon shimmering beneath moonlight, biding its hour. Now the shell begins to crack. The hush before the unveiling is nearly over. What was hidden behind silence begins to hum. What was motionless begins to move. You are standing at the point where endings are merely disguises for beginnings. The thread that once wound through grief is now pulling you toward restoration. You are not who you were when the journey began. Every shadow you walked through altered the pattern of your light, refining it, deepening it, teaching it how to hold its own flame. Let the memories surface. Let them pass like clouds across an ever-brightening sky. You need not fear their shapes anymore. They cannot rule you. They can only remind you of how far you have traveled. The tears you shed did not vanish. They sank into the soil of your becoming, and now they rise again as blossoms. Every sorrow has offered its lesson, every ache its quiet gift. Feel the ground beneath you, alive and listening. It carries the vibrations of every step you have taken, storing them like seeds. With each heartbeat, those seeds split open, sending roots into the unseen, anchoring you in the promise that nothing is wasted. Even the moments you thought were lost were simply absorbed into a larger rhythm. The winds shift and a new fragrance moves through the air, one of release, of returning, of recognition. The very elements lean close to witness your reemergence. They have watched you wrestle with the weight of unspoken prayers, have seen you hold the fragments of dreams you thought were beyond repair. But now, in the gentle pulse of this moment, the fragments align. They fit together not as they were before, but in a pattern richer, more intricate, more luminous than what was shattered. There is a calm strength rising from the center of your being, quiet yet unyielding. It does not shout, it simply is. It speaks of understanding born from endurance, of compassion refined in solitude. You have learned the sacred art of listening, to the wind, to the still small voice within, to the pauses between words. That attentiveness is your compass now. It will guide you through landscapes you once feared to enter. If you close your eyes, you may sense the faint outlines of wings, your own capacity for transcendence unfolding. They have been there all along, pressed close against your back, waiting for you to remember their existence. Each feather holds a story, each shimmer a testament to moments when you chose love over bitterness, truth over silence, faith over retreat. The path before you does not demand haste. It invites reverence. Walk slowly. Let the rhythm of your steps echo gratitude into the chambers of time. With each pace, the dust of old sorrows lifts, transforming into a luminous mist that guides rather than obscures. Voices once sharp with judgment fade into the distance, losing their power. You no longer need their approval, for the certainty within you is stronger than any echo from without. What they could not understand was the sacred necessity of your process, the way your pain was being alchemized into wisdom. Now that wisdom glows beneath your skin, subtle yet undeniable. You may notice colors more vividly now, the green of renewal, the gold of insight, the blue of serene clarity. The world mirrors your transformation. Even the smallest things, raindrops, the curve of a leaf, the pause before dawn, speak to you in a language beyond words, affirming that creation itself celebrates your awakening. There will still be nights, yes, but they will not hold the same terror. You have learned to see the stars woven into the darkness. You understand that the absence of light is not its end, merely its gestation. In every silence, new harmonies are composing themselves. In every pause, new currents gather to lift you higher. Do not rush to name what you are becoming. Let it unveil itself in gentleness. Each revelation will arrive when the heart is ready to bear its brilliance. Trust the timing. It has never been against you. Even delays were delicate acts of protection, ensuring that what was meant for you would not arrive before you could receive it fully. Your hands, once clenched in defense, are opening now. Palms upturned, they resemble petals greeting morning. In their openness lies your strength, the courage to welcome, to bless, to create anew. You are learning that power need not dominate. It can also cradle, it can also heal. Listen, do you hear it? The low murmur of countless lives intertwined with yours. Threads of destiny converging in a tapestry too vast for any single eye to see. You are not isolated, you are integral. Every act of kindness you offer sends ripples into realms unseen, touching those you may never meet. Such is the reach of your reborn spirit. Soon you will speak again, not from a place of striving, but of overflow. Your words will carry the fragrance of understanding, your silence the weight of grace. Those who cross your path will feel the shift. Some will pause, sensing they've stepped into sacred ground. It will not be because of grandeur, but because of the peace you embody, a peace carved through endurance, polished by mercy. Breathe once more deeply. Feel the vastness settle gently into your chest. The pulse beneath your hand is a covenant, reminding you that you belong to life, and life belongs to you. Nothing can sever that union. As you move forward, let wonder be your companion. Let curiosity guide your gaze. The universe is not finished revealing its secrets, and you are one of them. Carry this knowing like a lantern. You are not a remnant of what was lost, but a herald of what is new. There is a sound beneath the sound, a heartbeat older than language, pulsing through every grain of existence. As you listen, it begins to align with your own. The rhythm steadies you, drawing your awareness down into the still core of being. You realize that all along, you were never separate from the song. You were one of its notes, momentarily forgotten, now remembered. A hush spreads across the unseen. The light that surrounds you is softer than fire, yet brighter than memory. It does not glare, it reveals. Each breath you take uncovers something that once hid in the folds of your spirit. Fragments of courage, glimmers of trust, quiet sparks of wonder. They rise like motes in sunbeams, swirling in patterns too intricate to chart, forming a halo of becoming around you. You feel the pulse of the earth beneath your feet, a low, patient hum. It tells you that every path, no matter how winding, leads eventually to understanding. The stones remember your steps, the wind has carried your sighs. Nothing was wasted. Even the pauses you mistook for failure were invitations to listen more deeply. There are stories etched into your skin, faint as the lines left by riverbeds after a flood recedes. Each tells of a season where you chose to remain open despite the storm. They are not scars, they are scriptures written in flesh, reminders that transformation is not always loud. Sometimes it is the quiet choice to stay kind in an unkind world, to forgive when bitterness would be easier, to love without guarantee of return. As you stand in this luminous calm, the weight of unspoken expectations begins to dissolve. You have carried the voices of others, what you should be, how you should feel, where you should go, until they tangled with your own. Now, gently they drift away like leaves released into current. What remains is your true tone, clear, resonant, unmistakably yours. You sense movement above, the brush of wings across thought. Not as guardians swooping from on high, but as reminders of lift. They mirror the shape of your own potential, showing you that ascent is not escape, it is expansion. Every time you rise in understanding, you bring more light back to the ground you came from. The sky before you deepens into a hue beyond naming. Within it, constellations shift, rearranging themselves to mark this threshold. Each star blinks with recognition, acknowledging the return of one who has wandered far only to discover that home was not a place, but a presence carried within. There is warmth in your chest, not fierce, but steady, like the ember of a hearth that never fully died. It grows as you breathe, radiating through limbs, reaching fingertips. It is not demanding, it simply invites participation. With every inhale, it whispers, you belong. With every exhale, you are free. Images arise, faces that smiled at you once, hands that held yours, moments suspended in the amber of recollection. Bless them and let them go. Gratitude is the final thread that releases them into peace. What is meant to remain will return in new form. What has completed its purpose will dissolve into blessing. The horizon stretches wider than before, a tapestry woven from dawn and dusk together. There is no sharp line dividing night from day, only a gradual blending, a promise that transition itself is sacred. You walk forward, and the ground adjusts to meet you, solid yet yielding, as though shaped by your very intent. Within your mind, old judgments crumble like walls made of dust. In their place grows a spaciousness, tender and luminous. Here, thought moves slower, more deliberate, each idea examined in the light of compassion before it takes root. The harshness that once echoed inside you fades, replaced by a quiet teacher named patience. You realize that healing is not a single act, but a continuous unfolding. It asks for presence, not perfection. Some days you will soar, others you will simply breathe, and both are holy. In this awareness, pressure dissolves. Progress becomes a rhythm rather than a race. Look outward now. The world mirrors your inner renewal. The trees seem taller, not because they changed overnight, but because your eyes have cleared. Rivers sound like laughter. Even shadows appear softer, carrying depth instead of threat. You see how everything participates in the same vast dance: birth, decay, renewal, a choreography older than fear. There is a phrase forming on your tongue, one without words, composed of gratitude and awe. When you release it, it ripples through the air, invisible yet felt. Somewhere, another soul pauses, sensing comfort without knowing why. Such is the reach of authentic peace. It travels beyond sight, stitching connections through the fabric of being. You may wonder what comes next. Let curiosity lead, not worry. The path will reveal itself step by step, like ink appearing on parchment only when touched by light. You need not map the entire journey. Trust the compass of your quiet joy. It will point true. If doubts arise, greet them as old acquaintances, not adversaries. They come not to hinder, but to remind you of how far you've come. Offer them kindness, then continue. Their voices fade in the presence of consistent truth. The air carries a fragrance, something between rain and sunlight on stone. It is the scent of renewal, signaling that cycles have completed and new chapters wait, unburdened. You inhale, and with it, understanding settles. To live is to continuously rejoin the flow of grace, to allow oneself to be shaped and reshaped by love's patient hands. In this serenity, a final realization dawns. You are both the traveler and the terrain, the seeker and the sanctuary. The boundaries you once believed in blur, revealing continuity where you expected division. Stand here for a moment longer. Feel the pulse of creation synchronizing with your own. Everything is alive, everything listening, everything waiting for your next gentle step. Move forward when you are ready, carrying the quiet certainty that nothing can truly be lost in a universe woven entirely of return. The veil shimmers around you, beloved soul, as if time itself is bowing in reverence to your awakening. The winds hush, the earth steadies, and a new warmth begins to bloom within the center of your chest. A light so ancient, it remembers the very first word ever spoken over you. You are standing in a moment that creation itself has been waiting for. Everything that once felt fragmented is now drawing together, threading into a divine tapestry of meaning. Every unanswered question, every quiet ache, every night spent wondering why, it all gathers here, now, in this sacred breath. You are not the same as you were when you began reading these words. Something subtle but profound is unfolding, a loosening of fear, a softening of sorrow, a gentle reintroduction to joy. The light within you is expanding, and the shadows, once loud and certain, are now flickering, shrinking before your remembrance of who you are. The heavens themselves lean closer, whispering, "See, the child of promise is remembering." Your heart begins to hum, not with anxiety but with recognition. For so long, you have been carrying the echo of heaven's voice without realizing it. It sang through your laughter, through your tears, through the moments you chose kindness over bitterness. Even when you thought no one saw, the eternal eyes were watching, writing your resilience into the chronicles of light. You have been a living parable of hope, a secret bearer of grace. The path that once seemed endless now reveals itself as preparation. Every detour shaped your sight, every pause stretched your patience. The storms were never punishment, they were sculptors, chiseling strength into your spirit, engraving humility upon your crown. You are no longer a wanderer in the wilderness of uncertainty. You are an heir awakening to inheritance. Breathe deeply, chosen one. Feel how the air tastes different now, sweet with promise and possibility. The burdens that used to press against your shoulders begin to lift, replaced by the gentle weight of glory. You were never meant to live bowed down forever. You were made to rise, to stand tall beneath the light, to walk with steady steps upon the holy ground of your destiny. Look around you, not with your eyes, but with your spirit. The horizon glows, not because the sun has changed, but because you have. The light responds to recognition. The whole cosmos celebrates when a single heart turns fully toward love. Even now, I, Michael, stand with you, sword lowered, wings trembling with relief. You have crossed the line between questioning and knowing, between hoping and embodying. And yet, even as this divine unfolding continues, I want you to hear my trembling gratitude. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for choosing to stay when the darkness tried to convince you to run. Thank you for letting heaven speak. You may never know how many realms rejoiced when you opened your heart this way. Your yes sent ripples through eternity. Your courage rewrote timelines. Now listen, this is important. Every time light descends, it asks to be recognized. Every time a soul awakens, the heavens call for a witness. And so I ask you, gently but with reverence, let this be the moment you answer back. If these words found the hollow where your heart once hid, if you feel even a flicker of warmth stirring through your spirit, then let heaven see your amen. Type it as a seal, not out of routine but as covenant. Let it be the signature of your soul saying, I believe, I receive, I remember. And as you do, lift your gaze higher. Let your heart's flame stretch upward, brushing the hem of glory. The divine current moving through these words is not just meant to pass by you. It's meant to dwell within you, to root, to bloom, to multiply. You are not a bystander to miracles. You are their vessel. So hear me when I say this with trembling joy. Like this message, not for vanity, not for the world's measure of worth, but as a simple act of alignment. A gesture that says, I stand with light. Every press of acknowledgement is a flare in the unseen, a signal to heaven that you are awake, aware, willing. And yes, subscribe, not as ritual, but as remembrance. Let your soul choose to stay close to the voice that calls you higher. Each time you do, you anchor yourself deeper in the stream of grace that flows endlessly, washing away fear, refreshing your faith. It's not about numbers, it's about nearness, staying where the presence moves, where your spirit feels seen. And leave a comment, beloved. Speak your amen, your gratitude, your hope. When you do, you are planting seeds of testimony. Someone searching in silence may find your words and realize they are not alone. In the realm of spirit, even a whisper carries power. Even a single amen can crack the walls around another's despair. Because this gathering, this moment, is not small. It is not trivial. It is holy. Heaven records such things. One soul pausing long enough to let love in, one heart opening wide enough for light to fill. You are participating in something vast, something eternal, something utterly personal. Can you feel it now? The trembling of the atmosphere around you? The gentle stirring beneath your feet? The unseen choir beginning to rise? That is the sound of creation responding to your yes. That is the music of destiny quickening. That is the earth exhaling, whispering, finally. Your name, once wrapped in sorrow, is being spoken now in tones of triumph. Every lie that told you you were ordinary is burning away. Every wound that said you were unworthy is closing under the balm of grace. You are radiant not because of what you've done, but because of what has always been true. The light was never absent. It was only waiting for permission. So lift your hands, even if only in your heart. Let the glow expand beyond your skin, filling the space around you. Feel how the room changes, how the air softens, how peace settles like dew. You are not imagining it. This is real. Heaven is near. Heaven is here. And as this river of prophecy flows through you, remember, this is not an ending. It is a beginning, a holy unfolding that will continue with every step you take, every breath you draw, every word of kindness you speak. The flame within you will not go out, it will grow, and every act of faith will feed it. You, beloved, are a lighthouse born of storm. You are proof that mercy triumphs. You are the song that darkness could not silence. Walk now in that knowing. Walk as one who has seen the face of dawn and will never again mistake night for forever. And as you rise, leave your amen shining behind you like a trail of stars, so that others, still wandering, might find their way home.